Hello everybody, welcome to what I'm going to describe as travel diaries. You know, every summer we like to by plane, train, automobile and today is car, to bring you with us to follow Norwich City. They are in the Netherlands at the moment, which is where we are. Some nice scenery as we travel down the N57, I think this is, towards their where the game is being played, the first game of the day today, and that's what makes today such a logistical challenge, because we've got one game towards their base. We're staying at Rotterdam. It's about an hour and 8 from there, although we're in traffic and we've got 44 minutes to go. So as it stands, we're quite tight for kickoff, but hopefully they're well in advance. And then, if that's not enough, we've got to dart across the Belgian border to get to Waregem for tonight's game, which is at 7 o'clock our time, obviously 6 o'clock UK time. So it's going to be frantic, it's going to be long. You're obviously going to come along with us and see maybe some of the more glamorous, unglamorous parts, but it should be a good day, and hopefully it's going to be really interesting to see how Norwich split things up. The time of recording may well have progressed and kicked on since then. We are fresh from the speculation about Josh Sargent and potential move to Wolfsburg, so it'll be interesting to see if he features in either of the two games today, and I would imagine the expectation is they will split the squad somewhat. We've got Adam in the back and then Paddy, who is trying to navigate a very different way of driving. Pad, is that fair?
If I say, when we first got this hire car, I went to the left-hand side to get in, so it wasn't a good start, but there we go.
A bit more used to it now though?
Oh yeah, it's all coming back now. Yeah. I'm just coming a European in every sense of the word, Connor.
So yeah, effectively our kind of flight or route plan so far, we got a flight out of Norwich, which was not that they're sponsoring us or anything, but that was a very pleasant experience compared to some of the airport experiences we've had. If you've been to some of the big London ones, you'll know what I mean. Flew into Amsterdam. When did we land? It was about 7:15 here, so 6:15, so it took about half an hour. And then me and Adam spent a long time. This man's alright because he's got an Irish passport, so he was straight through. But Adam, we spent an absolute age, didn't we, in passport control last night?
Yeah, I think we were in there for about 3 times longer than the flight across, which made for a bit of a painful experience in a pretty warm, confined area. But once we got through the other side and got on the train down to Rotterdam, everything else was pretty smooth, and I think we're pretty happy with the apartment we're in as well. So all being told, everything's been relatively positive apart from that.
Absolutely, and as I say, this is the first game of the day. It's going to be very interesting. Today is forecasted to be very hot, so it's going to be interesting to see how Norwich kind of manage that and deal with their minutes. And then of course the game against Waregem later in the day, which is their last pre-season game before they start their Belgian Pro League. Both the teams that Norwich are playing today, Volendam got promoted to the Eredivisie, and Waregem as well into the Pro League. So two interesting opponents, I think, for Norwich City today, and we'll see how they fare. This is the glamour of pre-season. Bench, a laptop and a football pitch. That's the joy of it. Sprinklers on. It's about 9 minutes or so till kick-off. Norwich City's team is out. Real mix really in terms of what they're playing this afternoon. Obviously they'll play two separate teams, two separate games. So line up: Grimshaw Hills, Duffy McConville, Rosene, Wright, Nunez, Seeley Forson, Jurasek, and Oscar Schwartout as a number 9. Volendam of course won the second tier in Holland, so they're preparing for the Eredivisie season to kick off in a couple of weeks. I think they start away at Heerenveen, so it's a good opportunity for them to up their pre-season. But yes, there's a separate pitch just behind there, and a fair few yellow shirts around. I'll flip it over in the next bit and show you kind of the pitch and whatnot. But quite a few Norwich fans who have made their way over, be it on planes or on ferries, and more yellow than orange at this moment in time at the moment. There we go, game number 1 done here at the, there you go, and there's the pitch, by the way. It's apparently preparing this for 2 months. I mean, there's a few weeds on it, but as a surface it was fine, wasn't too dry. They were sprinkling it pretty regularly. But it's finished 1-1 here now. We've now got a dash down to Belgium, which is going to take about an hour and a half for that game against Waregem. Very different proposition, that, because they are in a different stage of their pre-season, whereby they have their season starts next weekend. So Norwich are going to be playing a different 11. It's going to be interesting to see. Sounds like we might even see Josh Sargent up front, which would be good. But yeah, the journey to Belgium begins. Just come into the bar here to get a drink. Look at some of the, obviously there's a Norwich City scarf up there. Look at some of the scarves in here. Holland, Arsenal, Juventus, AK Athens, PSV Eindhoven. Just a load of shirts and football paraphernalia in this bar here that Norwich have played this afternoon. Excellent shirt. Points if anyone can name all of those shirts in order in the comments. I'd like to see those. But yeah, some pictures as well. And that is the pitch outside. This is sort of the clubhouse, really. I've made it. Venue 2 of the day, the Elindus Arena. We've made it. It's about what's the time now? 4:30 for a 7 o'clock kickoff. So actually the dart down turned out to be not much of a dart in the end, but if I just walk you this way, you'll be able to see a bit more. Certainly a grand all the way round stadium. Holds about 15,000 or so, just under, we think, and that's going to be obviously a top tier Belgian stadium this year. Pretty impressive, Adam.
It's a very nice setup, yeah. I think
it's a bit better than the field we were in this morning.
I was sort of reading that it's quite a modern ground. I think they sort of had a merger with 2 clubs merged, and that's obviously how they've sort of formed in sort of the last 20 years or so, I believe. So I thought it might be a relatively modern, up-to-date stadium, but yeah, I think this would do well in the Championship, to be honest, with some of the grounds we go to. So if it's as nice inside as it is from the outside, then I think we're in for a good game and a nice stadium.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good test, isn't it? Because as we've said throughout this, they start their season next week, so you've got to think this is going to be a real step up, so especially where Norwich are still very early on in their pre-season.
Yeah, exactly. I think we saw that a couple of times last season, actually, with teams that were sort of maybe closer to their relative season starting compared to Norwich. And I think back to some of them games, and Bruges was probably the prime example of that last campaign. I know obviously they're probably on relative terms a higher up opposition, but they just look streets ahead in terms of their fitness as well as the quality level, where I think if you went for quality level, probably it'd be a relatively even game. Maybe Norwich even shade it slightly, but in terms of that fitness, that is key during pre-season. I think that will be on show today, and if we can get some more minutes for some of them key players in that team, I'm certainly hoping that Jakov Medic and Darlin trying to sort of get that relationship at the back built a little bit more over the course of this game as well, heading into the sort of final round of pre-season games over the next couple of weekends. Only bodes well moving into that Millwall game on the opening day of the season.
Absolutely. Let's get inside and see what we get today. There's the team news for Norwich City, and that is probably the headline. Josh Sargent starts for Norwich City despite reports of a move elsewhere. This is how this place is filling up, and just away in that corner you may be able to see a splattering of yellow and green. The diehards here today. There are some in this stand as well, it has to be said, dotted about, and the tunnel is just down there where the players will emerge from in a moment. But yeah, this is shaping up to be another high quality friendly, second of the day for the Canaries. pitch side. Gents setting up for their post-match media. Norwich players begin their warm down. Club TV there, but yeah, it's pretty good ground this, and it has cooled down, which is the best bit. I don't look quite as red anymore, but finished 1-1, 2 red cards, VAR. Just a hilarious game of football, to be honest. Good fun, and I'm sure the Norwich fans who were just in that corner there would have had an enjoyable time watching that. I'm sure you folks all did at home. But yeah, really fascinating game. Probably more questions than answers. We're about to speak to Liam Manning. Pad will be putting the questions to him in a moment, so it'll be interesting to see what he says on various events. I'm sure you will all have seen it and consumed it by now. So yeah, that was interesting. There's still a few of the Waregem ultras behind the goal there, and yeah, they start their league season now, so good luck to them. I thought it was a competitive game until it went down to 10 men, and then it kind of spoilt it for a little bit, but then AJ Bridge did his best to level things, and that helped probably the competitiveness of the game overall. So yeah, 2 games, both 1-1 draws, both really interesting, both really competitive, and probably from a Norwich City perspective exactly what they would have wanted to open their tour of the Netherlands. So that is a very hectic day done. They're not all like that on pre-season tours. I think this is the first double header that I've covered. It's been worthwhile. I think 2 really good games for Norwich City, particularly this one, which was weird and wonderful and had everything I think you'd want from a pre-season clash. Obviously these start next weekend, so when Norwich are flying back to the UK and getting ready for their final pre-season friendly against NAC Breda, these will have already started. But yeah, this is a really nice kind of traditional stadium. I went to Liège last year, and that was quite similar in terms of the character, and they're quite steep here. They're quite good. But yeah, I think, you know, a stand like that, we could use a few more of those in the Championship. I think. I think only reminds me a bit of the big Oakwell stand that if you get a good away following, you can fill and pack out and make loads of noise. I can imagine that being the case here, and yeah, this is a really interesting place to be. There's the dugouts, and yeah, it's going to be fascinating. I don't know if we'll follow them or not, but hopefully they can have a relatively decent campaign in the Pro League. So yeah, we'll watch with interest. Thank you very much for watching this vlog. We've got a 2-hour ride back to Waregem. Not back to Waregem. We're in Waregem. That shows how long a day I've been. Back to Rotterdam now. It's going to be a late night. It's already. What is the time? I'll show you the time. It is nearly 10 o'clock Central European time, so just coming up to 9 in the UK, and we've still got a 2-hour drive back, so it's going to be a late night. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. We'll be doing more of these throughout the week and obviously around the games next weekend as well. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.